Howdy Wildcats, this is Mr. Majewski, proud principal. I want to welcome you back to the spring semester in 2021. I hope you had a great break. It's great seeing all of you back once again. I want to first start out by recognizing and acknowledging the work done by Clear Creek High School staff in the first semester. Students, they have done everything possible to try to make the school experience the best they can for you during these challenging times. In the pandemic, please take some time to thank them for the work that they continue to do. And students, I want to thank you for the work that you did first semester, particularly our brick and mortar students. You definitely demonstrated our core value of responsibility in the first semester in terms of mask wearing and social distancing. We need to keep that up in the spring semester so we can get back to normal as quickly as possible. Just know, Wildcats, we are here for you every step of the way. If you need something from us, please do not hesitate to ask. Wildcats, let's exhibit our core values each and every day and be the difference. Before we move on with the rest of the presentation, I wanted to introduce our administrative team, starting with Ms. Orr, Associate Principal. She's located in the E200s. Ms. Johnson, our Dean of Instruction, located in the C200s. Then our Assistant Principals, starting in the B pod with Mr. Douglas. C pod will be Ms. Langley and Ms. Richardson. D pod, Ms. Kent. And E pod, Mr. Olin. Again, Wildcats, it's my honor and privilege to be your principal. We look forward to working with you. With all of us working together, we will be the difference.
Hi, Wildcats. I'm Mrs. Orr, and I'm going to review a couple of reminders for you for this school year. The first one is new for the 2021 school year, and that is the self-screener that every Wildcat is going to be required to take prior to coming to school each morning. There are a series of questions and symptoms that you have to review every morning before you come to school. Those are located on the Ccisd website. If you answer yes to any of the self-screener questions, you are not to come to school that day. Again, if you answer yes to any of the self-screener questions, you should not come to school that day.
Good morning, I'm Mr. Douglas, and I'm here today to talk with you about masks. Masks are to be worn like this and at all times while in the building. We can take our masks off when we eat in the lunchroom or in the courtyard or in the hallway, but we need to make sure that we're socially distanced while we're eating. So if we take our masks off, once we're done eating, we need to put our masks back on. Masks need to be worn appropriately, just like this. We're covering our nose and our mouth. We've seen a few students wear their mask down to where they're just letting their nose out like that. We can't do that. And we've even seen a couple of students wear their masks down completely like this. This is doing no good except for keeping my chin a little warm. So at all times inside the building, masks are mandatory and they must be worn just like this. Thank you. As I mentioned in the previous slide when we were talking about masks, the big key here is social distancing as well. So we want to make sure when we're in the hallway and then when we're eating at lunch that we're 6 feet apart from each other in social distancing so we can make sure that we keep everyone and ourselves safe.
Okay, Wildcats, now we're going to talk a little bit about behavior in the hallways. First and foremost, you have to wear a mask when you're in the hallways between classes. No exceptions. When you are in the halls, please make sure that you stay to the right when you're walking in the hallway, when you are going up the stairs, when you are traveling in between classes, or you're in the halls for any other reason. Additionally, when you enter a pod, you will see signs that ask you to walk to the right when you enter the pod. Even if your class is the first one on the left, please walk all the way around the pod to make it to your class. Thank you.
All right, Wildcats, there is no reason to be late to class. You have 6 minutes between classes and you need to get there, be on time, ready to learn in each class period. Once you reach 5 tardies, you will start receiving discipline. That could be detention, and if it continues, it could go to ISS and further. We don't want that. So make sure you're in class on time. Every 9 weeks, your tardies do start over, but let's be in class on time every day, every period.
If you need a replacement ID, you'll come to the E100 office where you can get a replacement ID. That'll be before school or after school. If you need a replacement ID, it will cost you $3. Also, I'm in charge of temporary IDs. If you need a temporary ID, you'll go to your assistant principal office. Temporary IDs, in case you forgot your ID at home or you can't find your ID, you can get a replacement or a temporary ID, for $1 at your assistant principal office. IDs are expected to be worn every time that you're at school, and they're supposed to be on you if you go to an extracurricular event.
I'm going to discuss dress code with you. During normal school hours, please remember that you are required to wear your mask as well as your identification badge. Caps, beanies, hoodies are not allowed in the building. Also, any type of garment or accessory that suggests anything inappropriate or vulgar or advertises anything illegal, alcohol, or tobacco are prohibited. Any garments that can be interpreted as gang-related are not allowed on campus or at any school-related activity. Campus administration ultimately determines the appropriateness of the dress of our students. Students in violation of the dress code will be asked to change and will be counted unexcused for any class time that is missed. Electronic devices and cell phones. Please know that these are allowed between classes and in the cafeteria. They can be confiscated by any staff member. They can be searched by an administrator. Refusal to comply equals additional disciplinary consequences. You can only have one earbud in at a time. The first time you are warned, you may pick up the device from your administrator's office. The second time you have to pay $15 and you may pick up your device. The third time it will be $15, but your parent has to pick up your device.
Hi, it's Mr. Douglas again. I want to talk to you about deliveries here at school. Clear Creek High School will not be accepting any deliveries here, so please double check things before you leave the house because we'll not be accepting any deliveries. No Whataburger, no nothing during lunch, no deliveries period for the 2020-21 school year. Thank you.
Lunch this year is going to look a little different than it has in the past. You will be allowed to sit in the cafeteria, the auxiliary cafeteria, the B100 hallway, the C100 hallway, and the courtyard. Those are the only places that you will be allowed to eat lunch this year. When you are in the cafeteria, please make sure that you wear a mask unless you are sitting at your table eating. If you are in line to get food, you have to have your mask on. If you are done eating, you need to have your mask on. There are social distancing markers on tables and on the floor. Please make sure that you do your very best to stay socially distanced in the cafeteria.
The next thing we're going to talk about is attendance. You are required by the state of Texas to come to school every day. You are required to be in attendance for 90% of the school days. If you are absent from school, you must bring a note within 3 school days in order for that absence to be excused. If you are truant from class, ISS will be assigned. And if you know in advance that you're going to be out on a trip, please visit your pod secretary as they have a form that you can fill out to get those days excused in advance. If you do not meet the 90% attendance requirement, you will be required to do attendance appeal makeup hours, and you'll be contacted by your assistant principal's office starting in about November. Many of you will need a verification of enrollment at some point in time during the school year if you are going to get a learner's permit or a driver's license. If you need a verification of enrollment, you'll come to the E200 office and see Mrs. Watkins. You are required to meet the 90% attendance requirement in order to be eligible for a VOE, and you also have to give Ms. Watkins a minimum of 24 hours advance notice for when you need that VOE.
I'm here to talk to you about parking at Clear Creek High School. If you're a student, you will need to apply for a $35 parking permit. You can apply online by going to ccisd.net and clicking on Clear Creek High School and then clicking the parking tab. There's an application process. You do need to upload a few documents, complete the application, and then you will pay for your permit online and pick it up in the D100 office. Make sure you read all the instructions on the application. If you are a student driver at Clear Creek High School, we have a few places you can park. The main student lot out by Veterans Stadium is where most students park. The lot needs to be cleared by 2:55 during football season if you're on the edge where the marching band practices. So make sure 2:55 every day or your vehicle could be towed out of the lot at your expense. We don't want that. We also allow you to park at the baseball lot over on the 518 side by the baseball and softball fields. There is a small baseball lot that is available for students to park, as well as the Carlisle lot in between the Carlisle gym and behind the stage set shop. There is a small CTE lot, is what we call it, back behind the CTE Shop Engineering building. That is reserved for faculty as well as students that leave campus and need to return and have a spot when they return. That's what we consider an off-campus permit. So when you go to apply, it will ask you if you want a full-day permit or an off-campus permit. It's not release time, it's not dual credit. It is off-campus if you leave and then have to come back and have a parking space. We have a few extra spaces for those students. You'll have a different color permit. If you have any questions regarding parking or you need any assistance, please come by the D100 office. Me and Ms. Kirkendall will be happy to help you out. Thank you.
As far as transportation goes, buses leave every day at 2:48 p.m. They do not wait for anybody. They cannot wait for anyone once they have left. So please make sure that you know to get to the bus pad in enough time to get on the bus by 2:48 p.m. Today in the cafeteria, there will be a table set up where you can go and find your bus number if you do not know your bus number for this afternoon. Typically, it is the bus number that you use in the morning, but sometimes it can be a little different. Additionally, if in the future you need to ride a different bus home, you have to have a pre-approved pass, which comes from the C100 office. You will get that pass for things like family emergencies and not for things like, I want to go home with my friend. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about textbooks. Usually, if you're going to get a hard copy of a textbook, your teacher is going to communicate that information with you. A lot of you already have AP textbooks. If you're in 8-push, if you're in biology, physics, you might already have your textbook. If you're in a class that does not have a textbook, first check with your teacher to see what resources they are using this year. Some teachers are not using the same books they used in the past, or if they're using an online textbook, we may not have the same copy in the book room. If you have already spoken to your teacher and using an online textbook is not right for you, then you can come down to the E100 office and fill out a request to have a hard copy of a textbook issued for you. This is subject to availability if we have the book in the book room, and we can give it out to you.
All right, seniors, mark your calendars for prom. April 10th, 2021 from 7 to 11 p.m. We will have prom at the South Shore Harbor Resort and Conference Center, so make sure you get ready for that event. Hopefully we will see everyone there on April 10th.
Hi, I'm Jeff Owen. I'm in charge of graduation this year. Graduation this year for class of 2021 will happen at Challenger Columbia Stadium on May 30th at 8 p.m.
And Wildcats, this is just a reminder that Clear Creek High School and Ccisd has a zero tolerance policy for all things drugs and alcohol. Again, we have a zero tolerance policy for drugs and alcohol. You should keep those things out of your life, but most certainly keep them out of our schools and any activity that you choose to participate in. Please be reminded that if you drive a vehicle to school, it is subject to search, as are your backpacks and your lockers. So again, please keep drugs and alcohol out of your day-to-day lives and out of your school activities. Thank you.
Hello, Clear Creek Wildcats. I'm your Dean of Instruction, Ms. Johnson, located in the C200 office, and I'm here to meet all your instructional needs. But today, I'm specifically here to talk with you a little bit about the Clear Creek ISD Secondary Honor Code. We just want to make sure that all Wildcats have equity and excellence when it comes to all of your coursework, but especially when it comes to those major assessments. So let's remember that our honor code is all about trustworthiness, and our core values are very important when it comes to these assessments. So students, if you are in violation of our honor code and are caught cheating, you will receive some pretty stiff consequences, such as a student who participates in academic dishonesty will receive a 0 for that assignment and a U on their conduct. You'll be ineligible for the next UIL contest or game, receive disciplinary consequences of at least 1 day and in-school suspension. You could suffer from the consequence of being removed from your pre-AP or AP coursework, lose eligibility for those spring final exam exemptions. Even if it happens in the fall semester, you would lose your spring final exam exemption eligibility. If you're a part of any of our campus honor societies, you would be removed from those, and it could be placed on your college transcript. So guys, let's make sure that we are honest in everything we do at Clear Creek High School, and let's not get caught up in our secondary honor code. Thank you.
Welcome, Wildcats. I'd like to use this opportunity to introduce you to your Clear Creek High School Counseling Center. While we are here to support you in many ways throughout your career here at Clear Creek, we want to make sure that our #1 goal is for you to have a successful graduation. I'm going to move on to the next slide where I'm going to introduce you to our amazing counseling staff. My name is Mrs. Gailey. I am the lead counselor. If your last name is A through C, you're with Mrs. Barnett. Last names D through HE, Mrs. Collins. HF through MG, Mrs. Wilson. MH through SA, Mrs. Adian. SB through Z, you are with Mrs. Mills. We also have 2 wonderful student support counselors here on campus for you to utilize. Last names A through K, you will be assigned to Mrs. Flores. Last names L through Z to Mrs. Quintana. We also have our wonderful college and career specialist, Mrs. Hurt, and our wonderful social worker with communities and schools, Ms. Barbara Stribling. I also want to make sure you're aware of how to reach your counselor. So whether you're at home through Clear Connections, if we ever have to go through the school to home model, or for our students that are here in brick and mortar, it's very easy to find the Clear Creek Counseling Center page on It's Learning. So again, you will go to the CCHS group homepage. I need for you to scroll down past the daily announcements, and then you will locate the counselor corner. I've kind of given a graphic here on this slide where you will click their link. It will send an Office 365 form to your counselor directly. Then she will call you down or pick up the phone if you're at home and have that conversation or that conference that you're needing. Also located there is your counselor's direct email address. That is another wonderful way to get a hold of your counselor, and we feel that we're very quick to respond through emails as well. Finally, if you're here on campus, don't forget to utilize the counselor corner during all lunches. Every day there will be a Clear Creek counselor available in the main lunchroom, in the main cafeteria there for you to use. So some of your simple questions, we will have flyers, we will have various forms. That is a great chance for you just to swing by the counselor corner during lunch and to make sure you use our services during that time as well. So again, we hope that you will use your wonderful counselors here at Clear Creek High School. We truly believe that we're the heart of the school because we are here for you. Thank you.
Hi Creek students, my name is Josie Quintana and I am the support counselor for students with last names L through Z. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do. We provide social and emotional support to all students, including the ones at Clear Connection. We see students individually and also in a group setting. Some of the things that we can help you with, we can help you with stress management, anger management, family issues, grief support, and any other area that may overwhelm you. You can put in requests to see us through It's Learning. You can go to It's Learning and then Wildcat Support Counselor and find our names there. I'm looking forward to working with you this year.
Hi, my name is Adriana Flores and I am support counselor for students with the last name A through K. We also offer support groups for students who are receiving instruction on campus. We meet weekly or bi-weekly depending on the group. We have several topics that we cover during group. See you soon.
Hello Wildcats, I'm Ms. Stribling with Communities and Schools. I'm here to support you in anything you may need in order to be successful here at Creek. If you need school supplies, I'm here. If you need a snack because you forgot to eat breakfast, I'm here. If you need clothes, I'm here. If your family needs assistance, I'm here. I'm available to you if you need someone to talk to about anything or everything, or you need help with your homework, or you're worried about your attendance, or any other issue that may pop up. My door is always open to you. You can get in touch with me through It's Learning on the counseling page. Just let me know and I will call you in. See you soon.
The district's standard response protocol shouldn't be a new concept for anybody that's been in CCISD before, but this is still a good review for us in the event that an emergency or unexpected situation occurs on campus so that students and staff alike know how to respond. The first standard response protocol is a hold. And a hold occurs when there may be a situation that requires students to remain in their classroom. For example, an unsubstantiated threat or altercation in the hallway. Students and teachers are to remain in their classroom even if there is a scheduled class change until the clear is announced. In the event of a hold, students should clear the hallway and remain in your classroom until an all clear is announced. You should continue business as usual in the classroom. Teachers will recover students from the hallway, lock classroom doors, take roll and account for students, and continue business as usual. Our secure protocol is formally known as Lockout, and this is when there's a threat or hazard outside of the school building. Some examples of that could be violence or criminal activity in the immediate area around the school. It could also be a dangerous animal in the courtyard. Secure uses the security of the physical facility to act as protection. And so if we need to go into a secure protocol, the principal or assistant principal will make an announcement. In the event of a secure protocol, students will return inside the building and continue business as usual. Teachers will recover any students from outside of the building, increase situational awareness, take roll and account for students, and continue business as usual. If you are outside of the building during a secure protocol and cannot make it back into the building, you will evacuate to a known location, which the closest known locations for us would be the Educational Support Center or Clear Creek Intermediate. But in most cases, in the event of a secure protocol, you will be able to re-enter our facility. In a lockdown situation, this is when a threat or hazard is inside of the school building. It directly affects those of us inside the school building. Examples are intruders or active shooters. In a lockdown situation, classrooms are secured and a lockdown is called by the principal, assistant principal, SLO, teachers, or staff. All interior and exterior doors must be locked. No one can enter or exit the building, and a lockdown is only cleared by police. In a lockdown, students move out of sight, maintain silence, and stay off of cell phones until directed. And students, we understand that this is a very difficult thing to ask you to do, especially in such a difficult situation, but it's important that we leave the lines of communication open for emergency personnel to ensure that they are able to handle the situation swiftly. In a lockdown, teachers will recover students from the hallways if it is safe to do so, just a quick scan, lock classroom doors, turn off lights, move out of sight and corridor windows, maintain silence, and take attendance. No one will open the door in a lockdown situation other than the police. Doors will remain locked until police unlock them. The evacuate protocol is called when there is a need to move staff and students from one location to another. An example of this would be if there's a fire, bomb threat, flooding, major gas leak, or other hazards inside the building. A shelter protocol is called when specific protective actions are needed based on a threat or hazard. Training would include responses to threats such as tornadoes, earthquakes, hazmat spills, wildfires, flooding, or a tsunami. We do have alternate shelter locations for any of our exterior classrooms where they can come to an interior classroom that is considered to be more safe from the elements. And so we do have a cheat sheet in every classroom and located throughout the building that tells students and staff what to do in the case of an emergency and how to take action. And so it's a quick reference, should be near the fire exit map in every teacher's classroom by the door where you exit, so that it's in a standard location and a quick reference, because we know that in the event that you are faced with a protocol situation, you might not exactly remember how to respond, and we want all students and staff to know where they can go and find the quick reference forms. The last piece that we want to remind you about in terms of campus safety is the See Something, Say Something app and the CCISD Emergency Alerts app. So you can go to the App Store for Apple or Android and download the CCISD Alert app. This will allow you to get any alerts that come in reference to your campus or kind of the surrounding areas. The See Something, Say Something function in the app allows students, staff, parents, or community members to report things that they think are relevant to the campus. You can report things anonymously or with your name attached to them. I do encourage you to give us as much information as possible if you use the See Something, Say Something app. If you're reporting that there's vaping going on in a bathroom, if you can tell us that there was vaping going on in the E200's boys' bathroom with a gentleman wearing a red sweatshirt, that gives us a lot more information than I saw vaping at Clear Creek High School on Tuesday. So the more information you can provide, the better. It does also allow you to upload pictures if you have screenshots of something that you think would be helpful for us to see. But again, that is an excellent way to help keep Clear Creek High School and CCISD safe. At Wildcats, we just want to remind you of a couple of expectations that go along with our core value of responsibility. We want to make sure that you're consciously participating in class and being supportive of the learning and teaching environment, that you are being courteous and respectful of others, and you're in class daily and on time. We want you prepared for class, well-groomed and dressed appropriately for success. You should respect the rights and privileges of other students, teachers, and district staff and volunteers, respect others' property, and cooperate with and assist school staff in maintaining a safe and orderly environment.